It's just breaking now via the Star Tribune that the Biden administration today canceled 2 mineral leases for the proposed Twin Metals copper-nickel mine in northern Minnesota, likely killing a project widely condemned for being too close to the pristine Boundary Waters Canoe Area wilderness. The huge underground mine would have tapped major reserves of copper and nickel, minerals key to a low-carbon economy, but also pose serious risks. God, I can't read.
How are we doing?
Serious risks of contaminating the many waters surrounding it with sulfide and toxic heavy metals. Polls showed many Minnesotans did not support creating a heavy industrial operation at a gateway to the country's most visited wilderness. The U.S. Department of Interior filed its legal determination today in the U.S. Court of Appeals in Washington, D.C., where a lawsuit challenging the leases was on appeal. The 2 minerals leases were essential for Twin Metals, a subsidiary of Chilean mining giant Antofagasta, to develop the mine, its first major effort outside Chile. Okay, but Biden, you're being told by whoever controls you that we're all supposed to be in electric cars.
Thank you.
How are we going to make the batteries?
Oh, we don't want to worry about that, Joe.
The guy, hold up. Wait a minute.
Something ain't right.
Everything's not right.
Well, you close down pipelines, Biden, and then you ask Arabs to produce more oil.
And that's essentially the same thing he's doing here.
So now what? You want 9-year-old kids in Africa to mine the copper and nickel?
Exactly.
To make batteries so virtuous people who can afford them drive Teslas? What a bunch of BS. It's a thin line to walk.
You're pro clean water in the Boundary Waters.
I absolutely am,
Yes.
but I would think, given modern technology, wasn't every assurance in the world given by Twin Metals that we're not going to screw this up?
So essentially, this is just another form of grandstanding by the political class? Is that what the conclusion you're drawing?
Well, they're placing what the left never seems to understand, that what they want is always in conflict with what they need. Mm-hmm. You can't demand that every automobile in America become electric if you are going to prevent the manufacture of the batteries. You can't keep gasoline prices reasonable for a stressed American middle class by cutting off the supply of petroleum. They can't have this both ways all the time.
But they think they can is the problem.
It doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
The Department of the Interior takes seriously our obligations to steward public lands and waters on behalf of all Americans. We must be consistent in how we apply lease terms to ensure that no lessee receives special treatment, Interior Secretary Deb Haaland said in a press release. After careful legal review, we found the leases were improperly renewed in violation of applicable statutes and regulations, and we are taking action to cancel them. Okay. Twin Metals said the decision was politically motivated, and they're vowed to fight it. The federal government's reversal of its position on the mineral leases that Twin Metals Minnesota and its predecessor companies have held for more than 50 years is disappointing, but not surprising, given the series of actions the administration has taken to try and shut the door on copper-nickel mining in northeast Minnesota. The couple said in a statement, "We will challenge this attempt to stop our project and defend our valid existing mineral rights." Brian Hansen, chairman of Jobs for Minnesotans, a coalition of business and labor groups who support the mines, called the decision disheartening. "We are outraged," Hansen said. "It's the latest in a recent series of attacks on the accessibility of critical minerals and the people of northeast Minnesota. It doesn't make sense to make this kind of decision in the face of a country needing to deal with climate change and needing to strategic metals to do so." Well, the climate change is a non-issue, but what's being driven by the false hysteria of climate change is this ridiculous belief that we'd be better off in electric vehicles. Mm-hmm. Well, in order to be better off in electric vehicles, you have to have copper and nickel to make batteries.
So the expensive electric vehicle that we didn't want but we now must buy is going to be even more expensive.
So I'm given to understand they actually found nickel in northern Minnesota.
Yes, and copper.
There's only one nickel mine in the United States. That's in Michigan, the UP, and it's still in use.
There's only one? Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, and you got these people like Betty McCollum who said some places are simply too special to mine. I can certainly understand that sentiment. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous wilderness.
Yeah, it really is.
But trade-offs are going to have to be made. You either have to mine this stuff or quit telling me to drive an electric car. Leave me the hell alone.
You'll find copper in Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Nevada, and Montana.
Environmental groups, of course, are hailing the decision as a victory for science, water, and communities of northern Minnesota. Becky Rahm, national chair of the campaign to save the Boundary Waters, called the decision a return of the rule of law. Chris Knopf, head of the Friends of the Boundary Waters Wilderness, noted that the victory comes on the permit opener for the Boundary Waters. This is a great victory on a day that everyone is getting their permits to celebrate the clean water and experience the wilderness, Knopf said, adding that he heard the news as he was completing his own permit application. And Betty wants us to know that for the better part of 10 years, she's been fighting to protect the pristine 1.1 million acres of the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness, BAWCBDWABYU, from toxic mining pollution. The Biden administration's cancellation of 2 Twin Metals leases that threatened this watershed is a rejection of the deeply flawed and politically motivated process under the Trump administration,
We don't know that.
and a victory for sound science in protecting a precious and irreplaceable natural resource. Okay, that's just breaking now. More tomorrow.
And isn't it interesting that who runs these mines, Such? Unions.
Yep.
Which political party is in the pocket of unions?
That'd be your Dems.
And which party shut down this mine?
Dems.
Yeah, them Dems are going after each other.
Well,
What are you thinking there, boss?
Well, you really need the wisdom of Solomon to divine this. No one wants that area ruined by.
Of course not. No, well, except evil Republicans. They of course want it ruined, right?
We hate.
Oh, man.
wildlife and all the
Screw
stuff.
nature.
Yeah, no. David.
Well,
And by the way, I guarantee more Republicans or those that are like-minded have used that area than your typical metro area Democrat, wouldn't you say?
Such, Reavers, we're the ones that roll up there, though, in our smoky, stinky snowmobiles and side-by-sides and off-road trucks and chainsaws.
Gas guzzling.
Gas
off-road
guzzling,
trucks.
carbon spewing.
they spew.
Yeah. So
They spew
we
and they
really
guzzle.
are. We're the devil's love child is what we are.
Well, I don't know where the lawsuit would go from here. I don't know what Twin Metals has up their sleeve. But I wish this would get consistent, Biden. Stop your hectoring about electric vehicles if you're going to step in and prevent the mining of the materials needed to make the batteries that run the electric vehicles.
Isn't this
Stop
shouldn't this just be a situation where conservatives, people on the right, Republicans, just sit back and watch them eat each other alive?
Right.
Because the union versus jobs versus pollution versus they're just going to eat each other alive. Let's just let them do that.
Yeah. All right, we have some news here.
Unless, of course, you have a family that depends on mining, and then, boy, then I feel for you.